Welcome everyone. Being recorded. Here we go. Welcome to the North Carolina Council on Developmental Disabilities Self-Advocate Discussion Series. I am Chris Hendricks, Policy Education Coordinator for the Council. On behalf of the Council, thank you for being here. This discussion series is a place for North Carolina's self-advocates to gather and engage with each other to talk about things that affect our lives. We want this time together to be used to get to know each other and to get to know the Council, where I and other individuals with IDD are leaders, colleagues, and valued for our input because we are who we are. Now, a quick note about our post-session emails. Just want to remind everyone that we will send out a post-session resource email that includes guest speakers' contact information, resources discussed today, the PowerPoint slides, and our chat from Zoom, albeit it'll be a little bit edited. Now, before we get started with today's program, let's do my colleague Philip Woodward's favorite part of the program, the jokes of the day. First, what kind of shoes do frogs wear? Any guesses? What kind of shoes do frogs wear? Well, they wear open-toed sandals, of course.
The Crocs.
Oh, Crocs is a great guess. Great guess. Open-toed sandals is the answer. Next, we've got, why don't crabs ever volunteer for advocacy activities? Any guesses? Because they're shellfish.
Oh, wow.
But thank you. We'll be here all day, or at least for the next 60 minutes.
Funny, Chris.
All right, so what to expect? Today, we have 6 guest speakers, and we're going to learn about 3 different self-advocacy leadership training programs, 2 of which are funded by the North Carolina Council on Developmental Disabilities. We will learn from the coordinators, directors, facilitators, and graduates of those programs. We will learn what they stand for and what makes them unique. We will learn from self-advocate leaders who have gone through the programs. We will learn what folks experienced and what they're doing now with their advocacy and leadership skills. Though I will do formal introductions later, I want to welcome Haley, Cynthia, Hannah, Brittany, Cameron, and Michael to the NCCDD Self-Advocate Discussion Series. Now, why is self-advocacy leadership so important? Leadership, particularly advocacy leadership from the self-advocacy community who are trained with historical knowledge, communication, and collaboration, is more important now than ever before. During times like now, when we are divided on issues as a state and as a country, true understanding and connection come best from leaders with true lived experience. These are the stories that matter, and self-advocate leaders have the power to bring people together with a level of honesty and empathy the world desperately needs. The 3 programs we're learning about today include the Ability Leadership Program of North Carolina, or ALPNC for short, by Centered Resources with funds from the NCCDD. Next, we're learning from the IDD Peer Mentor Training Program, and that's by Community Bridges Consulting Group and Centered Resources with funds from the NCCDD. And last, but certainly not least, the Leadership Education in Neurodevelopmental Disabilities, or LEND for short, by the University of North Carolina School of Medicine. Please put your questions in the chat or hold them until we've heard from all 6 speakers. We've got a lot going on today. But now it is my pleasure to introduce the 3 guest speakers for the Ability Leadership Program of North Carolina. First, we have Hannah Shoemaker, is the director of ALP-NC and the principal consultant of Centered Resources. As a graduate of ALP-NC herself, Hannah wears a lot of hats. She's an educator, facilitator, and peer support specialist. She utilizes her experience in advocacy, group facilitation, public speaking, and beyond to create the best experience possible for leadership and growth in individuals with IDD. Lived experience is her foundation for crafting welcoming and accessible environments. She believes all people belong, regardless of their way of being in the world. Hannah will tell us about the ALP-NC program and why it's important. Next, we have Cynthia Harris, ALP-NC graduate facilitator. Cynthia is an expert in peer mentoring, instruction, education, and beyond. She inspires people to strive for their goals, regardless of their circumstances, and knows that one's disability doesn't necessarily define who they are. Cynthia is also a graduate of the Peer Mentor Training Program and LEND program, and she'll talk about ALP-NC program and why it's important. And last but certainly not least in this group, Haley Burkhead is a graduate of ALP-NC. Haley is 27 years old and passionate about mental health and inclusion of people with IDD, being friends with typical peers. She is also passionate about art and has her own art business called Haley's Hope. She says that she loves creating for customers and getting fun new orders to create. Haley will share her experience with the ALP-NC program. Welcome, Hannah, Haley, and Cynthia. We'll start with Hannah.
Thank you, Chris. Hey, everybody. I'm Hannah Shoemaker, and I'm the director of the Ability Leadership Program North Carolina, or ALP-NC for short. ALP is an innovative online advocacy and leadership training program that welcomes people with disabilities, family members, and allies into learning how to make change together. At the heart of ALP is the belief that people with disabilities are the experts in their own lives, and that leadership and advocacy are strongest when they come from lived experience. Since 2020, we have graduated more than 100 leaders and certified over 20 facilitators who now help teach and mentor others across the state. In our sessions, participants learn about collective advocacy, disability rights, and building strong advocacy partnerships. We practice skills around identifying a problem, advocating by sharing a personal story, finding common ground and bridging differences, identifying solutions, and the importance of rest, review, and returning to the work as we're ready. In our sessions, we focus on connection because leadership isn't something one person can do alone. Our biggest hope for ALP graduates is that they leave the program feeling ready to keep practicing advocacy skills, feeling connected to a supportive network, and ready to take action in their communities. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hannah. That's a lot of information, and there's a lot more to come. Now let's hear from Cynthia, who has experience in multiple leadership programs. So first,
Hi, everyone.
hello. I
Hi,
already interrupted you, so you're already doing a better job than me, Cynthia. First and
And
foremost,
I just wanted to add one thing that wasn't listed on my resume, kind of.
sure.
I also work for Easter Sales. I'm an IDD peer mentor, and I love what I do. I've been doing that almost 3 years now, and I was able to do that because of being on all these programs that helped me learn how to maneuver and advocate. All right, so
Hey,
we can get started, Chris.
no. That's a fantastic starting point. This is the perfect segue into what's your favorite thing about being an ALP-NC facilitator?
I love helping others learn how to teach advocacy so they will know how to work together with many different types of people. I love being able to work with people, different kinds of advocates as well. And developing relationships is my favorite part of the job.
We just touched on the fact that relationships are more important now than ever. So that's huge, right? So now that we know that, what makes ALP&C unique?
We truly feel like a family. If someone is struggling, then someone else will jump in. We help each other out and we watch each other's backs, and it comes naturally without NC. And I feel safe and confident in the environment, both as a teacher and a learner.
That is so well said, Cynthia. And it's clear just from what you've shared that you've gotten so much out of this experience. What do you want students to get out of the experience, like future graduates?
The more advocates to learn patience above all else. We need to be able to work with individuals both with and without disabilities. You need to give grace. Everyone deserves a little bit of grace in the end. It makes the world a better place, truly. And it's
Cynthia,
always good to have fidgets if you need them.
I honestly, I should just stop talking and let you take over the whole thing. Can we give props to Cynthia for the shares? Cynthia, that was wonderful. And now, if it's okay, we'll hear from ALP-NC graduate Haley Burkhead. Welcome, Haley.
Hi
Welcome,
everyone,
Haley.
my
You
name is
got this,
Haley.
girl. You got it.
You do got this, Haley. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
I just wanted to say my name is Haley and I'm so happy to be here.
We are so happy that you're here with us. Why did you choose the ALP-NC training program?
Um, I chose out because I wanted to learn to self-advocate for myself better. Um, and I do struggle with that, and I just moved kind of on my own. And by that, I do mean there are residential hosts who do live here and who do help me along the way. Um, and Alpency just taught me to learn to speak up for myself more.
That's wonderful. And you're already doing a great job of that here right now.
Thank you.
Um, you're so welcome. It's easy when it's true. What is unique about ALP&C to you?
I think it's unique because people with and without disabilities can come together. Um, and it's really important to me. It's not just people without disability like telling me what to do. We all work as a team.
It's awesome.
And that was really important, especially when it came to like my confidence and especially giving the graduation presentation.
Yeah, I remember we talked about that a little bit on the phone. So it seems like, I definitely sense the independence that you have achieved from that, the interdependence really that you've achieved from that. And you touched on you're a full-time resident, right?
Yes.
Along with care staff and respite friends.
Yes.
And how does that feel?
It feels really good. I'm still getting into the swing of things. This is actually only my second full week here. So it's pretty crazy. I just moved last weekend.
Wow.
So it was a very quick turnaround. But it feels good to kind of be on my own, and I love my parents, but it's nice to kind of get a break from them and just have my own independence and say, no, I don't want to do this, or sure, let me try this. So that's been very helpful.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. What would you recommend about ALP?
I would say that ALP is a great program. it's okay if you're nervous. I honestly had no idea what I was signing up for when I entered. But with the help of a good friend, she helped me through the program, and then everybody on the team, whether it was other graduates who are going to participate or just facilitators, having them help me along the way.
Really, that is a perfect share, but I also know that you had some more information you wanted to share with us today, specifically your slides. And what was really important for you to share with us today?
So I had two things. The first thing was inclusion. That's very important to me. I am a young adult with special needs, but I do love being around typical peers, but that's not always easy.
Yeah.
Sometimes won't really, I won't really feel seen. I do get embarrassed about, the way I walk and stuff like that. But realizing that that's okay, and there are people out there who may not like me just because of that. But the Best Buddies program has really helped me a lot. It's kind of changed my life a little bit. So the Best Buddies program, it's an international program, and it matches people with IDD and without to be friends. So you are matched in a one-on-one friendship with a peer who is neurotypical. And that's been a really great experience for me. I get to hang out with my buddy in the college chapter.
Oh, that's so cool. And I know that you've already kind of touched on that even earlier, so this must be really, really important for you. And you also touched on how self-advocation is something that hasn't necessarily come naturally to you. Do you want to share more about that?
Sure. Yeah. So speaking up, especially for myself, has not come easy. But now it's going to be very important because I am learning to be on my own, and don't really know what that looks like. I'm figuring that out every day. Um, and so that's been really important, especially, unfortunately, I did experience a trauma in my life, which some people may not think it's trauma the way I experience it, but it did affect me. So unfortunately, I am a sexual harassment survivor. So even to this day, I'm learning what it means to speak up for myself and use my voice and not let people talk for me. Um, and trauma definitely gives you a fresh outlook. Um, and those who want help but are too afraid to ask for it, I was terrified to ask for help. Didn't really think I needed it, but then I realized, okay, I do need help. And just building that safety team around me and getting the help, especially the help of my counselor and other people in my life. And unfortunately, because of the trauma, I do deal with very bad anxiety on a daily basis. And that can lead to pretty severe panic attacks. And I just have to learn how to get through them. But that has also, on the positive side of that, it's given me a very deep passion for mental health and those who do struggle with it. And while I'm learning about my own journey, I want to help them in theirs as well, but I also need to learn when to step back and set my own boundaries, and just slowly letting people in who I trust to help me.
Couldn't have put it better myself. Thank you for your honesty. Thank you for your bravery. Thank you for your vulnerability. It's clear that these programs have um, shed the beautiful light that is you upon this world. And we're so thankful for your words. Thank you. Thank you, Haley. Thank you, Hannah. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you for that extra share. And next, we'll hear about the IDD Peer Mentoring Training Program from Cameron Kimson. and Brittany Ellis. So Cameron Kimson is the founder and CEO of Centered Resources. She leads a team of professionals whose work is grounded in lived experience, using their professional insights to guide and support others. Cameron and her team focus on advocacy, equity, and systems navigation for people with IDD. She emphasizes creating spaces where learning leads to real transformation, where individual voices are honored and integrated. Ultimately, she seeks to bridge gaps in access, understanding, and support by centering authenticity, experience, and collaboration. Welcome, Cameron.
Thank you for having me here. This is Cameron. Appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm here to just briefly outline a little bit about peer mentoring and how this came to be in this panel, and then I'm going to turn it over to Brittany as she has so much wonderful information about the program. So in 2024, Community Bridges and EIPD came together with the council and created a program called Bridging Pathways. They chose a curriculum that was written by Optum and that actually accessed people here in North Carolina to support the writing of that curriculum. And this program is focused on peer mentoring of peer-to-peer support in an employment setting. And so Community Bridges was the educational partner, EIPD, the employment partner, and they came together to educate several peer mentors who then would go into internships and provide that peer support in an employment setting. Centered Resources has picked up the second half of that contract, and we're going to be working with EIPD to help them know how to teach this curriculum. So a train the trainer, if you will. So we'll be working with them in 2025 and 2026 so they can continue to have peer-to-peer support, peer mentoring in the employment settings that they offer. From that experience, we heard a lot of feedback from participants in that peer mentoring cohort, and then also from Matt Potter and Brittany Ellis, who had been two of the key facilitators. And I started talking with some community partners about having a different type of peer mentoring opportunity that would include more of a lens of lived experience as a part of the content development and really focus on people with higher support needs or different access needs than perhaps who could access the Optum curriculum. So we have recently piloted our first cohort with this content with First Western North Carolina. And we are working with Hannah, Brittany, Matt are a part of that facilitation team. And just delighted to be able to see another opportunity for education out there with peer mentoring. So I thank you for having me here today and look forward to hearing what Brittany has to say.
Well, congratulations on the pilot program, and thank you, Cameron, for your wisdom. We really appreciate it. So now let's introduce our peer mentor graduate, Brittany Ellis. Brittany is an IDD peer support specialist at Johnson County Industries. She is a national inclusion project inclusive recreation specialist. I swear I practiced that before we did this live, and it is still a mouthful for me. Brittany is also an ALP alumni. She's passionate about helping others lead self-determined lives, and I am honored to call her a friend. Welcome, Brittany.
Hey, it's Brittany, and I'm happy to be here.
We're excited you're here. Tell us a little bit about your experience with peer mentor training.
So, yeah, I was just attending JCI, Johnson County Industries, more as a participant. They helped me get jobs out in the community. And then they brought this opportunity to me to be in the very first cohort, to apply for the very first cohort of the peer mentoring training back in 21. There was over 115 people applied, and I went through interviews and got in the cohort. I believe there was 12 or 15 of us. We met on Zoom once a week for about 8 weeks. And I wasn't quite sure what it was going to entail and what I would learn from it. So I've always heard of self-advocacy, but about midway through, the whole of self-determination kind of took hold and connected because I had never heard of that part, that there's a part before self-advocacy of self-determination. Like I tell the individuals that I work with, there's the part that comes to your head with self-determination, a thought, and then the action part is self-advocacy. So that was a major thing that I took from the training that's really changed my thinking with professional and my personal life.
Wow. So how did you, that's a lot to learn and
Mhm.
clearly learned a lot and you've clearly demonstrated it. What's happened since taking part of the training? I mean, you touched on it a little bit and we talked about it in your biography. Do you want to expand on it a little bit?
Sure. So after, um, not long after, I started working on Mondays a little bit with the individuals here at Johnson County Industries. Most of the week, I was still working at the thrift store that I was working at. Um, and then about a year later, I started EIPD got a hold of me, and I kind of done some stuff with them. And then, as you mentioned, I did the specialist course with National Inclusion Project, and and then help, and all of that has kind of contributed and learned more skills to help with this. Um, then about a year ago, um, now I got asked if I wanted to leave the thrift store and become a full-time IDD peer support specialist. So that was really exciting. And I couldn't say yes fast enough to that. So that's been really cool to now be a full-time IDD peer support specialist. So I have some individuals where we have a set time in the program that we meet once a week. And other than that, we have small groups that I kind of go through. And he wants to come. I do either one-on-one or have a group of two. I plan different topics to talk about. Like I saw the other day, I think it was Monday or Tuesday. It was which fits with October, like facing your fears. So we talked about facing our fears. The other day it was train your brain day. So we talked about brain health. Um, so I do, and more of the one-on-ones, we kind of focus on their individual goals or what they would like to work on.
The answer to the question of what I'm doing currently is everything, it
Yeah.
sounds like.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. You've really, it's cool to hear how you've stepped up and how this training and all of this knowledge has transformed into this full-time opportunity. So thank you so much. This has all been really amazing information. And just thank you, Brittany, and thank you again, Cameron. This was fantastic. Thank you for being here today. Next, we've got Michael Bell, who will talk about the Leadership Education in Neurodevelopmental Disabilities Program, or LEND for short. Before anything else, Michael is a follower of Christ. He hosts a podcast called Team Autismo, which is one of the best podcast names in the history of the universe, where he and two autistic adult friends discuss their lived experience and whatever tangents they wander into. He is also the self-advocacy specialist at the UNC CIDD LEND program and is on several autism advisory boards to provide perspective from an autistic mind. His many hobbies include, but aren't nearly limited to, gardening, theology, blacksmithing, cooking, video games, bodybuilding/strength training, writing, and tabletop role-playing games. His favorite book series is Discworld, and his favorite ice cream flavor is cookies and cream. Take it away, my friend. What is LEND and what is it all about?
Hey folks, this is Michael Bell. LEND is an acronym, of course. It stands for Leadership Education in Neurodevelopmental and Related Disabilities. What it is it's a 4 credit 2 semester class through the University of North Carolina. So it's an actual class you can get credit for. There's actually a lot of LEND programs throughout the country, and they're all funded through the Maternal and Child Health Bureau, which is under the Health Resources and Services Administration. So LEND students are in the class divided into about 6 groups, around 5 to 6 students for each group. The groups each receive a case study every week, and then throughout the next week, they have discussion questions to spur an online discussion. And in the next class, the groups will continue that discussion in person and then share with the rest of the class kind of what they discussed online and in person. Primarily, it's a PBL class, which is another acronym, stands for problem-based learning. I stole a definition for that from Cornell University, and they say PBL is a student-centered approach in which students learn about a subject by working in groups to solve an open-ended problem. This problem is what drives the motivation and the learning. So in this case, the case studies.
Well, I couldn't have stolen a better definition myself. So, what makes LEND unique in your opinion?
My favorite part about it is it's it's such a mix of uh, people. So it's clinical students, actual medical students, um, and the groups are interdisciplinary. And what that means is each group will have a mixture of different medical students. So one group might have a nursing student, audiologist, a physical therapist, and geneticist, and then another group might have like a nutritionist, a nurse, and whatever. But this is my bias showing here. I think the most important factor in each group is we try to put a self-advocate or a family fellow, which would be a person who has a close family member with IDD in each group.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hugely important to our community. So, with that said, what do you hope students get from the class?
So for the clinical students, my main hope for them is to start seeing their IDD clients that they'll be seeing as less numbers on a screen, less problems to be solved, but more as actual individuals with real hopes, dreams, and values as a human individual. I believe they get this by interacting with folks with IDD in their group, hearing their lived experience while they're working through these case studies. And most of these case studies, if not all of them, I mean, I haven't actually checked, but at least most of them are based on real life cases. And pretty frequently we'll have the main individual that was working on these real life cases presenting. So they'll be able to get all the information, and also hope all the students will have a better understanding of disability rights, legal rights, and their history. I'll be fully transparent. That's not really my forte. I'm not really good at history and um, legal stuff, but we do have Kenneth Kelty on staff, and he is an encyclopedia for the disability rights movement. So he's got that covered. And for the self-advocates in particular, I really hope they learn the confidence and leadership skills to advocate for themselves and others. It's a nice environment to learn such things because you are in these groups of people. The types of clinical students that take this class are the kind of people that actually want to learn these things and actually care about the IDD community. So it's a very welcoming environment, and it helps people practice such things in a safe area.
Well, that's a lot of really important information around Lynn specifically. And so now that we've heard from Michael Bell, we'll transition over to Michael Bell. As a student of LEND, you are both an expert from the outside and the inside. So why did you choose this training program?
So I tried to find like where I first heard from it. And so I searched my emails, and the earliest email I could find was from Kelly Friedlander mentioning it. So I'm just going to give her credit for telling me about it. I've long felt a calling to be a voice for the IDD community, specifically autism, because I've spent so much of my time and energy in my life learning to communicate well and to be more likable. My goal throughout school was not math, reading, anything. It was I wanted to be liked by people. I didn't even want friends or to be popular. I just wanted to be liked. Um, so because of all of that work, I can mask really well. So I can kind of be incognito in holistic groups, but I also have a lot of lived experience to sympathize with autistic groups. And so I can be a bit of a bridge between the two. And because of that, it seems natural. I try to use that to help people. And that's one of the main things that led me to launch my podcast, Team Autismo, back in 2022. I also write blog posts on several subjects on our website. So when I heard about Lind, I'm also a graduate of the ALP program, the peer mentoring program. So after that, I heard about Lind. I was like, okay, this is the obvious next step for me. I felt like.
Well, clearly it's worked out for you, my friend. What advocacy experience and work have you engaged in because of the training? And you already touched on your passions.
Yeah. So you kind of mentioned during my intro that I'm actually employed by the Lind program now. After I graduated from the program, they asked me to come back and be part of it. So my position is called the self-advocacy specialist. And honestly, I kind of am still trying to figure out exactly what what my role is entirely. This is my second year. Um, just like everyone else at the CIDD, I wear at least a dozen hats. I do a little of everything. I assist with mentoring self-advocates. I assist teaching the class on self-advocacy topics. This semester, I've actually started working on making class materials more accessible. I developed a set of standards from doing some research on universal design. And last year, one of my main focuses was helping a self-advocate student develop her presentation and create slides for it, and even practice it a bit. And maybe I'm biased, but I think she had the best looking presentation that year.
Hey, if I'm going to trust anyone's bias, it's going to be yours. Listen, thank you all. Thank you, Michael. Thank you to all the presenters. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give props to all of our presenters today. You did amazing. And as a man who talks a lot, I'm at a loss for words. So in a moment, we will give all attendees an opportunity to ask any questions you may have to our advocacy experts and share your own experiences in advocacy. But first, we have a poll for you. It's basically a poll that we want to make sure everyone has an opportunity to fill out so that we as a council know that we're doing a good job here at the Self-Advocacy Discussion Series. So I'm going to take a moment to read the questions aloud. The first one is, I am a self-advocate, parent, family member, or neither. The second question is, I live in a urban area / big city or rural area / a small town. Number 3 question is, I think the Self-Advocate Discussion Series is good, bad, or I don't know. Number 4 is, I learn from the Self-Advocate Discussion Series always, sometimes, or never. And then number 5 is, I use the Spanish language interpretation feature, yes or no. If you could just take a moment, and if you could fill this out to the best of your ability, it's very, very helpful for us. I'm certainly biased, but we need your honesty. And Melissa in the chat shared, thank you, Cynthia, Brittany, Haley, Michael, Cameron, and Hannah. Best session ever. Absolutely. And it's all you guys' fault.
Again, thank you for letting us do this. And I've submitted myself, so y'all will get it. Haley, you did a phenomenal job. I'm so proud of you.
We all
Thank
And
you,
are.
you too,
Cynthia.
Michael.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
I'm super proud of all of you. You did so wonderful. And Cynthia's absolutely right, Haley. You knocked it out of the park. But it's not over yet. So now we would like to give our listeners time to ask questions of our presenters. Look at the PowerPoint and see if the example questions work for you, or feel free to ask your own questions. I'll take a moment to read the questions on the PowerPoint slide. Number 1, what are some practical things someone should know about before choosing your program? that is the programs we've talked about today. And number two, what would you tell someone to recruit them to your program? Be called on, raise your hand, raise your Zoom hand or your actual hand, or feel free to share your questions or comments in the chat. And we would love for you to turn on your camera if you're able. This session and these sessions are always about connection, and we feel a bit more connected to you if you're able to come off camera and unmute when you want to share, because we're all in this together. So screen a little bit bigger so it's easier for me to see. Do we have any hands up? Someone in the chat said, I don't see the question. So I'm going to read them real quick. And then we'll get to Miriam, who's got her hand
I
up.
see a hand. You have two. You have Laura, and you have Maria.
Yeah, I think it's Miriam. Is that right?
Yes.
Miriam. You know what? We'll skip me reading the questions because I'll do that later. You go ahead, Miriam. Go ahead.
Okay. My question is to, by the way, my name is Miriam, and I'm now that we'll be graduating next Friday in the LP NC. So I'm so excited, and I'm looking forward to a lot to share with a lot of community, like no English speaking community. So thank you for all what you're doing. And my question is to Michael. When you mentioned that you have student, so do you have any student that are non-verbal like my son Zach within the program? Do you teach any?
Not the 3 years I've been in it.
Okay.
That's probably the best answer I have. So we do, so the half the class is online discussion, which is text-based. So there is that. And I assume if he has a AAC device or some other method of communication, it would be more than welcome.
But can I when I say self-advocate, so I'm advocating for him. So would I be like consider like that I can be advocating for him and be a student too?
Possibly. We have had folks that join the class that are kind of assisting specific students, so one-on-one support.
Okay.
So that's entirely possible. We've had that before.
Okay. Thank you
Michael,
for
can
what
I
you're doing.
interject real quick?
Yeah.
Yes, she could sit in with her son. We've had something like that in the past, and she can advocate for him and assist.
Thank you. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank
You're
you,
welcome.
Michael. And thank you.
Thank you, Miriam. Thank you. Go ahead, Laura. You got your hand up.
Yes. So I guess I would just want to know if you meet in person or is it just virtual? Do you have to have a certain kind of disability? When are the meetings? Is there a certain age limit? Things like that. Um,
And Laura, for clarification, is that for all three of our programs, or was there one program in particular that question was for?
I guess all three of them.
Okay, who wants to go first?
This is Cameron. I can share real quick about the peer mentoring. So Laura, the peer mentoring program, Bridging Pathways through EIPD, that one, it applies to people who are working directly with EIPD, who want to peer mentor and coach other people in job settings. If you are interested in our peer-centered first peer mentoring curriculum and program, You will go to the centeredresources.com website. I'll put that in the chat in just a minute. We are just finishing out our first cohort and we'll be doing another one in the spring. Right now, the internships are in the Western North Carolina area because first Western North Carolina is the one who's overseeing it. But we don't want that to keep people from taking the education component. So I'll put the website in the chat and my email, and please feel free to email us if you're interested. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, I think so. That's like for people who are trying to get jobs, and you would help them with that.
We are not currently, Centered Resources is just doing the education piece. If you're looking for jobs as peer support specialist or peer support mentor, you would look with organizations that are actually providing the internships or have the billing capacity to do that.
No, that wasn't what I was talking about. I know sometimes where I work, we do like job training, like job seekers. We teach people who have disabilities how to find a job, interview for a job, fill out applications online, stuff like that. So that was what I was curious about, if that was something y'all do.
We do not currently do that, no.
Answer some of the original questions for the LEND program perspective. So it is half online and half in person. So you would need some sort of form of transportation to Chapel Hill, which is one of the limitations, unfortunately, that we don't have free teleporters set up all over the state yet. So yeah, that's something we kind of have to get around. So that is a limitation, unfortunately. We've found all sorts of ways. Some people take public transport in Chapel Hill, so that's one thing. As far as age limits or requirements, I know there is one, and I was just frantically searching my email trying to find what it is, but there is a minimum age requirement for it. I can't recall what that is, so I am actually going to drop the Lend website in the chat so that if you'd like to know, there is more info
That's
there.
perfect. That's perfect, Michael. And we'll also add that as part of the resources email when we send it out. And any resources that anyone would like to share in the chat, they'll be gathered up and added to the email. So thank you for that, Michael. And then Cynthia, you had your hand up as well. Did you want to add anything?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask Laura, where did she work?
I work for NReach in Charlotte. So it's a private nonprofit agency.
Yes, ma'am. I've heard of Emory's at different conferences. So okay, thank you. I probably met you before, Laura. You look familiar.
I've been around for a long time, so
Gotcha.
involved in a
Nice
lot of
to meet
different things.
Okay.
Yes, Laura's been around, and she's also a great participant in our essay discussion series. I want to jump in for just a second. I want to ask all of our presenters, starting with Cameron and Hannah, what would you tell someone to recruit them into your program?
Hannah, do you want to start? Do you want me to start? I think.
Go ahead, start us out.
Okay. I think in terms of people who are interested in advocacy, we never want people to feel discouraged because of what they feel like they do or don't know. That is the beauty of ALP from the very beginning, is it is a group of people who are holding a safe space to be who you are, to come and belong, and to learn the skills that are important to you, whether it's for self-advocacy, collective advocacy, or long-term systems advocacy. So I put the website in the thread. I encourage you to check that out because we have videos on there from people who've been in the program and who can speak to their own lived experience with ALP.
Cameron, thank you for that. Hannah, go ahead.
Yeah, the word recruit, I get hung up on that one because it makes me feel like there's an element of pressure involved. And what I want to say as a person who went through the first class and is really committed to the program, it's about welcome. And people who want to be in the ALP cohort, please apply. It may include challenging your preconceived ideas, like especially professionals, people who are even folks who are bringing their lived experience. What we are looking for is the full welcome of what is the barrier you are experiencing and how can we work together to support you as an actual human in working through that barrier, and creating the change that's meaningful to you. So it's not one set of tools. It's not something that starts with the State House or a notion on our side about what advocacy looks like, because it's created in the room together with the humans who show up. I would also say it takes commitment and communication. So it's not a program that you can sit through and sort of have something else going on your screen, because we are looking to bring the dignity to what we're creating together. So that's what I would say.
Awesome. Well said, both of you. Michael, any
So
insight?
if I was trying to get someone to join the program, what would I tell them? That's the question, right?
Yeah.
Um, I'd say if you have a passion for the IDD community and you really want to get into discussions about advocacy, both social advocacy, cultural advocacy, and also a little bit of a um, like government advocacy, working on emailing lawmakers and stuff, that sort of thing. And if you have a interest in the medical side of things too, I mean, it's really a well-rounded program.
Yeah.
Then it's great. Also, someone asked earlier if it's free of charge. So I can only answer from a self-advocate perspective because I didn't go through as a medical student. There's actually a stipend that you get for participating, and it's a not insignificant amount of money. And there is technically a small audit fee. I think it's $20. Don't quote me on that, but that gets reimbursed to you. So technically free of charge and you get paid for it. So that is another reason to join the program. Uh, I don't want to entice people purely for financial gain, but it is quite a nice cherry on top.
Thank you, Michael, for sharing that. I've got about 2 more minutes roughly for any additional shares. Does any of the other presenters want to give their 2 cents regarding the program and why people should be there?
Oh,
I
sure.
would. This is Cynthia Harris, and I would like to share that if you want to help make changes for yourself and others, I would say getting involved with any of these programs is really excellent thing to do. And now I'm going to pass it over to Brittany so she can share.
I think all the learning with the peer mentor are just really core values that I think are beneficial for anyone with IDD, of learning of help others, but also for yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
I find out as I've been doing this job that folks with lived experience have a hard time making their own choices or knowing what they want in speaking up for themselves. And I think to show also that there are many forms of independence. I think we think of independence as just living on your own, but I think there's many different forms to it. So I think there's such a learning experience with doing this training, along with supporting others.
Thank you. Well said, Brittany. Well said, Cynthia. Thank you all. I wish we could hang out here and just chat for the next forever. But we have some additional resources that we're going to share with you as we wrap things up. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next slide. Again, these are going to be reshared out. So the links here on this PowerPoint to the Ability Leadership Program, Peer Mentoring Training Program, in development, the Lived Experience Peer Facilitator Certification, Peer-Centered First Peer Mentoring, People with IDD, Leadership, Education, and Neurodevelopmental Disabilities, land again, last but not least. And now the next slide. The Council presents every fourth Thursday of the month on Zoom at 1 p.m. The Self-Advocate Discussion Series isn't the only way that you can get involved. My colleague Melissa and I do a lot of the self-advocate work with the Council, and we want the Self-Advocate Discussion Series to not be your only the only spot that you come and hang out. We have lots of meetings and lots of opportunities for you to participate. Did you know that you can watch and listen to all the Self-Advocate Discussion Series online in English and Spanish? As an example, there's the link to watch the August video recording. And if you're interested in contributing, feel free to email me any topics that you're passionate about, that you think the rest of the self-advocates would be passionate about, and Melissa and I will consider it for a future self-advocate discussion. Next slide, please. Ladies and gentlemen, this was one of the most fun sessions on the planet. I can't believe we actually have some minutes that are lingering. Thank you all so much for your participation. Thank you to all of our speakers today, Haley, Brittany, Michael, Cynthia, Cameron, Hannah. Thank you so much to our ASL interpreters. Thank you so much to our closed captioner. Thank you so much to the staff that worked really, really hard behind the scenes on everything from the PowerPoint to the script. I can't believe we were able to get so many speakers in 1 hour's time. And thank you, as always, to our participants and our listeners. Thank you to the self-advocates and advocates that are here each and every Wednesday, each and every third Wednesday of the month. We so appreciate you. And just a really quick plug, in November, our third Wednesday in November, the 19th, is going to be a really special session. It's going to be a talent showcase for any self-advocates that are interested in sharing any hobby or passion that they love: singing, comedy, magic, everything in between. I think we've filled 12 slots so far. We might not even have any room for any more slots, but email me if you're interested and we'll see if we can't make it work. And once again,
And thank you to Chris and Melissa.
Well, yeah, and super thanks to Melissa, who takes my jumble of materials and turns them into something that really looks beautiful. And one final reminder, we will be sending a post-session email out with all of these resources, all of the emails, contact information, along with the chat, an edited chat that includes resources and emails. So be on the lookout for that. And just thank you all so much. It's been a wonderful session. We'll see you in November on the 19th for a chance to relax, enjoy prior to the holiday season. So we'll see you next time.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Doris.
Thank you, Philip.
You all did so well today. Thank you.
Do we stay on or do we, what do you like us to do?
Well, if you want to stick around for a couple of minutes, we do a short debrief and would love to have you join us if you can hang around. I'm going to stop the recording.
I'm good for the next 3 hours. So.